You know, in the villages that we serve and partner with, the measure of wealth is not how much money you have in your pocket. It's how well you receive your neighbors. In other words, what are you doing for the people around you, the people in your community? This is why I am so honored to introduce one of the richest men in Cincinnati. Perhaps not by material wealth. I don't know if the University of Cincinnati pays him enough, but certainly by the measure set forth by our Tanzanian folks and what he's doing for the Cincinnati community. As president of UC, Dr. Gregory H is transforming lives, not just on campus, but throughout our community and around the world. He's in charge of one of the nation's top 25 public research universities and what Forbes magazine has called one of the beautiful campuses, one of the most beautiful campuses in the world. So we should all be very, very thankful of that ranking for the University of Cincinnati. He set ambitious goals for UC in his strategic plan, UC 2019. And if you haven't checked it out, you can go to UC's website and read the strategic plan and how ambitious it is for spreading love, not just in our community, but around the world. These goals extend beyond campus to the entire reaches of the globe. Dr. Williams has earned 5 degrees and been and awarded about 5 honorary degrees. He's written a best-selling book, Life on the Color Line, and he's chalked up more accolades than I have time to tell you all about. But perhaps what I'm most amazed about is his passion for helping others, particularly in the realm of education. I think that Dr. Williams would fit right in with our friends in Tanzania. Please join me in welcoming the 27th President of the University of Cincinnati and my Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity brother, Dr. Gregory H.
Something very special to get me to wear this tie, and I'm delighted to do it because of the work and all the importance of the things that Village Life is doing. It makes it a lot easier to know, of course, as well, there's a lot of UC connections. As I look around the room, I do see a lot of red and black, and I see people that have been involved from the University of Cincinnati, and of course, the person who really has led the effort as University of Cincinnati and all of you, and that's Dr. Chris Lewis. He, of course, is Village Life's founder. He's a UC alumnus, adjunct faculty member of the College of Medicine, and I know the students who have the opportunity to interact with him really learn from him and learn from his dedication and what he's done. I've never been to Africa, Chris, but the contributions that you're making are absolutely amazing, and I applaud you for it and your commitment. Well, Chris is the ringleader. Our UC involvement, of course, extends to a wide range of faculty and students and colleges, and that is something that I'm truly delighted about. We're talking about 8 different colleges and 200 students at the University of Cincinnati and partners in this. Isn't that absolutely amazing? And they made life better for thousands of residents of Tanzania. I'm not going to go into my own personal story. Some of you have heard it, hopefully not ad nauseum. But you have heard me talk about understanding the difference that one person can make in other people's lives. And I had that personal experience. And my brother and I were young boys, and my father and grandmother who we lived with were alcoholics. There was one woman who stepped up, a 52-year-old woman making $25 a week as a domestic, and she never asked what can I do? What can one person do? And that's exactly the type of thing that Chris has done. He's never asked, what can one person do? He has shown what one person can do. He has those same qualities of generosity, courage, and deep conviction that I saw 50 years ago from a woman who only made $25 a week. And Dr. Lewis is making a difference. And actually began that as a third-year medical student, a resident who traveled to Tanzania on an international health elective during his 1-month visit, and he helped visit villagers that had never before seen a doctor. And actually, I would just add some parenthetic aside. Many of you know that I spent the last 8 years before coming to the University of Cincinnati at the City College of New York. And Chris, I have 2 young women who are students of mine at City College, who are first-year medical students at UC, who are both signing up to come. And so that experience that Chris saw when he first arrived there, people carried him to the country's remote hospital, some already deceased, too late for help, including a pregnant woman who had tried to walk 24 hours to get there, but simply couldn't make it. And when this month ended, Dr. Lewis returned to the United States, and he knew he wanted to go back, and he did. 6 years later, he founded Village Life, and today, he still goes to Tanzania at least twice a year and spends at least 2 weeks every time he goes. And it was really incredible to listen to the types of things he's talking about. The organization, you know, it's really ironic. You see the bricks up there. My wife has this saying, you make a difference building something brick by brick. And this is truly an example of making a difference brick by brick. And so you certainly have done that. What started out with one person has grown into an organization that now feeds, we heard about earlier from Curtis Fuller, 1,200 students every day, leading to a 25% increase in school test scores. What started out with one person has brought a brand new health clinic, which we just saw open on April 1st, and that was no April Fool's joke. Obviously, that was something very important, listening to the folks and the difference that those buildings made in Rocher. It was built with the help of UC faculty, as we saw, UC students in DAP, in engineering, and medicine, and applied science. So we see, actually, the power of one person has multiplied into an organization that has grown far beyond immunization, AIDS, TB, and malaria, to include safe water for villagers. Actually, before I met Dr. Lewis, I did meet a young man who had been to Tanzania, an engineering student, and we had him appear before the Board of Trustees, a young man named Mason Stout, who told us the story of working to provide clean and pure water for a small little village in Tanzania. And actually, the water that they were using closest to the village was the most contaminated. And his story touched all of us. At the time, I did not realize that his work was part of village life. This is something very special to me about pure water, because my wife Sarah and I adopted twin boys from Honduras when they were 7 years old. They had lived in an orphanage up to that time. And we brought them back to the University of Iowa, where I taught at the time, the University of Iowa Hospital, a great hospital, just like the UC Hospital and the work we're doing here. These boys had intestinal parasites that folks at the University Hospital had never seen. And it took months for them to get rid of those parasites, which really had hampered their growth significantly up to that point in time. So when we talk about providing pure water, fresh water, I know the difference that can make in individuals' lives. It is a personal concern of mine. The impact Village Life is making on the villages in Tanzania is just half the story of this remarkable organization. What is exciting to me is that while giving, Village Life is also allowing others to receive so much. And by that, I don't just mean the villagers. I'm talking about the students, the faculty, and the volunteers here at home in our own backyard. What they learn, what they are able to do, and the difference they're able to make, and the change that brings about in themselves, in their own lives. Now, not to sound too selfish, and the UC folks have heard me talk about this a lot, I feel that all of this meshes with our UC 2019 plan, the strategic plan that we set out last year. Where can I find a better example? 200 students and their professors gaining a global perspective and learning so much about a culture that's different from their own. If our students come to UC, and I've said this countless times, if our students come to UC and do not have an experience, an international experience outside this country, we are failing them miserably. Because in this day and age, if we really want to educate our students to go out and be true citizens in the world, they need to have an international perspective. So Village Life, I want to thank you for giving them the opportunity to expand their horizons and a life-changing experience. And you know, this is a lot different from what we've heard about recently about the Italian adventures of Snooki and the cast from Jersey Shore. This is a different experience. 200 students and their professors are collaborating not only with villagers and residents in Tanzania, but also with their peers and colleagues from UC colleges and other disciplines. We might have one university in common, but anyone at the university knows that we also have silos. But here, we have medicine, nursing, pharmacy, education, engineering, planning, design, architecture, and the arts and sciences all working together. That's what's so special about this. All right here at home are being forced to be drawn together to think creatively and to find solutions to real problems that exist half the world away. So again, thank you, Village Life, for pulling this together and inviting us to think in interdisciplinary and innovative ways. 200 students and their professors are also being asked to think creatively and to address challenges in ways that are sustainable and gentle on the environment. The goal of Village Life is to provide the villagers with knowledge and resources that will solve the problems with knowledge and resources and continue even if someday there is no longer a Village Life. As part of UC 2019, we now count sustainability among our measures of success, and you're helping us achieve that. So again, thank you, Village Life. Well, I could go on and on because in truth, each of our UC 2019 goals and principles does in some way connect to the work of Village Life. And I'm certainly glad that I had a chance to know and get to know Dr. Chris Lewis and his colleagues in Village Life and to hear about some of the things that are going on there. This brings to mind a quote from an author, historian, minister, and former U.S. Senate chaplain, Everett Hale. It's a quote that reminds me also of one person who made a difference in my life, my Mistora. The quote is, "I am only one, but I am one. I cannot do everything, but I can do something. And I will not let what I cannot do interfere with what I can." Thank you, Village Life, for all you do.